Now listen, today's video is not to opine on the state of RPOs in Madden. At the end of the day, you're going to face them whether or not you like them or not. So you need to make sure that you know what you have to do when you're on the fly and you don't exactly know what it is your opponent is doing. We're gonna show you the #1 adjustment that will help you out no matter what defense you run. I don't care if you're in 3-4 odd, I don't care if you're in 4-3, even 6-1, I don't care if you're in 3-2, 1-4, you name it, this is the adjustment you have to utilize. In fact, I'm gonna draw from experience. This is a game scenario that I found myself in just last week on my Twitch stream. And yes, I do stream on Twitch. If you guys haven't checked me out, twitch.tv/ZanMadden, Monday through Friday in the afternoons. Hopefully I'll see you guys in my chat. But I was playing a player in a Super Bowl game that was running the Cardinals playbook, and he was hopping back and forth between some RPOs that I was familiar with and some that I really wasn't. And I saved the adjustment that I'm going to share with you in today's video until the end of the game for a game-winning 2-point conversion do or die stop after he had had success the entire game moving up the field utilizing RPOs on those intermediate downs and distances rather than throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. So like I said, these are things that a lot of times you're going to run into people that run unique plays that you're not used to defending, whether it's the Buffalo Bills with that cheat motion RPO read flat wheel, or in this case, this pistol deuce close exit motion RPO read cheat wheel flat. These are very, very hard for a lot of conventional style defenses to defend, and they can be really, really, really tough when you're stuck in certain defenses that are maybe more meta. For instance, I like to run the 1-4. So I found myself in a situation where I was trying to stop the pistol deuce out of the 1-4, and I was playing, you know, kind of like a loop blitz hard flat, sometimes a little cover 3, sometimes a little cover 4. But my opponent got into a serious habit of just calling this play anytime he needed yardage. And I found it very difficult to defend because even when I had a good coverage that you couldn't necessarily just chuck the ball into traffic, he would still be able to hand the ball off effectively because of the ace personnel. And what it also made it even more difficult was that if I didn't pay attention to my R and my P icons, he could glitch out things altogether and make people wide open as well. So you would see things where the DB would kind of dumb out, or you would just constantly see this catch in traffic, and it got frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely frustrated me that I didn't know exactly what I needed to do. But in the back of my mind, I really did know what to do, and that was to base align. Okay, anytime you're dealing with somebody that is peppering throws to the outside, whether it's a wheel or a quick flat or something off the line right away, you need to utilize the baseline feature. With the baseline feature, the unfortunate thing is once you call it, you have to stay in it if your opponent is mixing in a lot of RPOs. But this will make it so you can literally call any coverage you want. A lot of times we get wrapped up into thinking, oh, well, against this RPO, I need to be in a cover 2, but I need to set my shell to cover 3. So the outside corner is in a flat, but he's not pressed. And there's a lot of different rules and nuances. And don't get me wrong, those things can be great, but when you have a million different RPOs in the game, it can be hard to remember, okay, well, this one requires this shell and this coverage, but that one requires me manning up this guy and usering him, but I can't pinch the linebackers because if I do, all of a sudden now the R icon becomes the guy that I need in that coverage. You see what I'm getting at here? So you need something that you can rely on. And this is where we're going to talk about why base align is just the best way to go about things, no matter what defense you run. So what you're going to see here is when you base align, this will do a couple of things. It's going to widen out your corners. There's no respect for the spacing of the offensive formation. This is going to allow you to get outside leverage against every single offensive formation that is compressed base, which most of these RPOs that are good go from a compressed look to getting the ball out quickly into the flat. So one of the things that you'll notice here with this look is that even if that P icon on the outside is the player that is put into conflict and he can't make a play, this base align player will have a chance to make this play happen. Now, that's the key, is you want to make sure that he's in an assignment that can make this play. And the best one is going to be a flat, some sort of base align flat. And this is going to allow you, in this case, I could roll a coverage. I could play like a cover 3. I don't even have to worry about what this slot player is doing. I could just man him up on a guy. I could do whatever. And now when they want to go and throw this little auto motion wheel to the outside, this base align flat is going to be in the perfect spot to make sure that that guy drops it, or it's a dangerous throw or a pick six opportunity. This is especially useful too when you're playing someone that likes to audible between lots of different RPOs. Note that I just said we're in the Arizona Cardinals offense. One of the things that you'll see a lot of players do out of this is they will go in between the bunch strong offset, which is a good formation, but when they need to pick up those short yardage calls, they're actually going to have this gun deuce close with the RPO read flat wheel as an audible. Now, the reason that they're going to do this is because if you're not base aligned, a lot of times you'll think, all right, well, I'm going to play press against this. This is a heavy running formation. They do this, then they're going to start to throw this ball to the outside. You get no animations, and now they're moving up the sideline, okay? Then you start to think to yourself, all right, well, I'm going to play base align and press now, and I'm just going to put that guy into a flat. That's a great adjustment for this. In fact, you're going to pick it off. But here's the rub. When you start to do this, this is where they're going to begin to kind of play games with you. So they're going to, okay, he's base aligned and pressed. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to audible into the gun deuce close RPO read flat wheel. And with this particular play, if I motion this guy out, I can actually dumb out that outside corner and throw the ball hot off the line for a streak touchdown. So the act of being base aligned and pressed against one RPO is great, but it's not against the other. So what we want to do is we want to literally just play a base align off coverage with a hard flat if they're throwing the ball quickly in the flat. A lot of times you can just play a cloud flat. It'll scare them. They won't call it. They probably won't throw it, but if you need it, you need the hard flat. So base align, off coverage, put the guy into a cloud flat. Chances are they won't throw it. I mean, if they decide that they want to come out and throw this blind immediately, like catch throw, you're going to see here that that's going to be an interception even from a cloud flat. Then when they think to themselves, okay, well, he's dumbing out that one, let's go to the other one, you're still in a defense that won't give a terrible animation, even if they decide to move this guy out and try to glitch you out that way. You see that this outside corner no longer is dumbed out. I can't just shove this ball right at his face, okay? So because you're base aligned, you put that outside corner in a spot where they're not confused by the RPO. A lot of players are trying to manipulate your corners and get a free, easy throw to the outside, whether it's in the flat or down the sideline. This adjustment cancels that altogether. Now, of course, you know, I'm sitting here in 1-4. So of course, your opponent could run the ball if they have some heavier formations with good RPOs. So I want to show you that this is something that does apply to other formations as well. Now, if you're enjoying today's video, make sure you guys give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I upload longs in the mornings, shorts in the afternoons, Monday through Friday, to help you guys get better at the game. Also, make sure you guys check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. So I'm going to show you again another one here. Let's talk maybe cheat wheel flat, but you know, maybe they run the ball in the 1-4. So I'm going to stay in 3-4 here in this example, and I'm just going to stay base aligned. And I'll just call baseline cover 2. Again, you could call cover 4 and then make the changes if you wanted to. Again, in this situation, they think, all right, well, it's a 3-4. I'm not going to run the ball in this front, but I can maybe get the ball out quickly into the flat. So they do this auto motion. But the problem is you got this corner on the outside, and that's going to be an interception every single time from the base align cloud flat. So any of these wheels, any of these quick throw flat type throws, you're going to be in a real good spot with these. Now, again, if they want to say, all right, well, that's cute. Let me go ahead and audible out to RPO read flat wheel. Again, if they want to throw the ball out to the perimeter on this, look who's there to make a play, potentially stop it. Now, again, with that particular one, you don't have to worry about the exit motion. So if you want to say, all right, I'm going to stay base aligned, and I'm going to put this guy into a hard flat here. When they decide that they want to audible into that, that's going to be the pick 6 adjustment. So we go ahead and audible into read flat wheel. And we're going to try to hike throw to Olsen. Obviously, you see here, this guy's not going to be able to make that play. It's potentially a pick 6. If they decide to audible into this play and then do the manipulation where they motion the guy out, again, you have to be in press in order for that to work. So again, if they motion this guy out wide, they're thinking, all right, they're going to throw the ball deep down the sideline. Well, in this situation, go ahead and still play the hard flat. You're base aligned. This guy's not going to dumb out. You can put him in the hard flat to take away the wheel, that quick throw, and they just put an outside third over the top. I think the outside third adjustment is so nice to have, because what it will do is it will make it so if they read it as like, all right, I'm looking for the flat, but then I also want to throw the quick streak to Patterson, custom stem it up. When they go to do this, you're going to have a guy that can actually make that play potentially intercepted as well. So just the act of being base aligned is enough to scare most intelligent players out of RPOs, but even the players that, you know, have mastered it and they just want to shove these throws constantly, this is the adjustment. Base align whatever coverage you want. Play hard flats and an outside third over the top. You're not gonna have to worry about the sidelines at all. I'll even show you that this applies real quick into like a screen pass as well. Again, I faced somebody who was doing all of this in the first half and I didn't stop them from a regular alignment. I went to the base align late in the game when I needed it most, because I knew in the back of my head that that is the universal adjustment that does the best work against RPOs. And one of the other screens that he was running on me was this RPO alert screen, or the swing. Sometimes he's throwing like a little verticals call out of it too. But again, allow me to show you the difference here. So we're gonna call base align. Maybe I do like a little cover 4 deal here. I'll contrast this with just being in a standard alignment here. If we're in the standard alignment, even if we play like a hard flat, a lot of times with this RPO, you're gonna see here that it doesn't really work. You're going to see here that they can throw this ball out in the flat. That hard flat doesn't do a good job. I can get the ball in the hands of a playmaker. Jimmy Graham, not really so much a playmaker. He's a little bit more of a vertical guy. So now let's go ahead and contrast this to the baseline look. I put this guy into the flat. We put the outside third over the top on that side. If you want to put 2 hard flats against the screen because you know it's coming, that's absolutely something you can do. But again here, they start this auto motion. I could even say, all right, I'm going to baseline and press. Now you got this baseline pressed hard flat. Good luck getting a guy to the backfield that's going to be able to make this play happen. You see that, you know, we can actually get guys out there to that throw. And that's more so the screen side of things, right? What about the auto motion wheel out of this same formation? There's a play called fake toss verticals, and people will actually try to throw this route. So we're base aligned. I could call cover 3. We could call kind of whatever here. You know, I'm just going to call cover 3 cloud here on this side. They do this auto motion, and they're looking to throw this wheel route to Graham up the sideline. You're gonna see that it actually is not really that open. I mean, you see here, the guy's gonna break on that throw, and without some sort of catch and traffic ability, like maybe like a short out elite, that's not a throw that they can actually make. So one of those things that they always try to throw against regular defenses, you just simply baseline and put a cloud flat on the outside, and it's gonna shut them down. And now all of a sudden, you're gonna find yourself some more 4th down and 2s, 4th down and 3s, where they can't really rely on that. They're gonna have to draw up something that isn't automatic, and those are the game-changing, game-winning adjustments. One thing I want to leave you guys with as we get to the tail end of this video, I know it's getting a little bit long, is, and I taught my players this on Twitch, and I enforce this on Gridiron as well, is just because you have an adjustment doesn't mean you should show it right away. Winning a ball game is super, super important by using the adjustment at the right time. A lot of times there's something to be said for, you know, I'm going to kind of bait you into thinking I'm struggling to defend this. I told the story of I wasn't super familiar with this offense the first time I faced it, with my opponent audibling between the exit motion and the RPO read wheel flat and some of this auto motion bunch stuff. And I just kind of stayed in my defense and tried to switch stick it for a while. But I knew in the back of my mind, like, hey, when my opponent needs a 4th and 2, or my opponent, God forbid, scores at the end of a ball game and they're down 1 with no time left and they have a choice to go for 2, I'm going to run this baseline adjustment, and they're going to think it's a layup, and they're going to throw it because they're going to think I don't know what to do. That is why having something like this in your back pocket is so key. But equally important is not just knowing the tip, it's using it at the right time. Use it on the leverage downs that win and lose games, not 2nd down and 8. Because once you show it to your opponent on 2nd down and 8, now all of a sudden they're thinking differently in the clutch downs because they know you've shown them something. So save it for the right moment. It's very, very important. The right moment to subscribe to the channel is now. Make sure you guys do so. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you guys later this afternoon with a short, or tomorrow with another long form upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.